Welcome to another weekly episode of Marked Out Radio. We are the premier podcast focused on the hobby of collecting autographs and photo ops from celebrities. We talk about autograph conventions, on the street encounters, and everything else about the hobby. I'm Sean.
And I'm Dana.
And we had some exploits together this week for the hobby. But before we get to that, let's talk about the Marked Out autograph collecting community on Facebook. So as happens from time to time, you know, usually our group, whether it's the board or whether it's the Facebook group, usually it's just fans kind of blathering at each other. But once in a while, a celebrity, usually someone well off the beaten path or something like that, stumbles in to comment about something. And you had a pretty funny interaction this week with, I guess we would call them a celebrity adjacent type of person.
Yeah, Matt Bourne's ex-wife showed exactly why she was dumped. And she came into our group and she tried to crap on my Hasbro being signed by Ray Apollo, pointing out that her dead ex-husband didn't sign it in 2026.
I'm going to be honest. I am a full supporter of the ex-Mrs. Bourne here. She's just trying to preserve the correctness of your collection.
Well, listen, where was she when Eric Sims and Dhillon Hines were fighting about Doinks for 6 months? I didn't see her pop up then. Why is she only critiquing my collection?
I think it's because the now infinite reach of the Marked Out autograph collecting community finally drew this information to her front page, where it was previously probably just occupied by cat videos.
Very fair. And listen, I'm sticking it up a little bit. I thought it was hilarious. I was going to make some sort of a response, but I realized that any response I would have made that would have been like funny or sarcastic would have seemed like I was just sort of rubbing. Well, I guess she isn't a widow if she was divorced. I guess it's still a divorcee. But I didn't want to go making jokes about him being dead. So I just said nothing.
It is funny when people wander into our space. And, you know, obviously she has no real concept of what's going on here. And it just makes it that much funnier, to be honest, her complaining. And I love that it was about the incorrectness of the item. And I will stand by that getting Ray Apollo to sign that Doink figure was a mistake. And I mean, do you, in light of his ex-wife having the same opinion, does that change or at least modify in some way your position that maybe you shouldn't have done that?
No, because at the end of the day, this woman married a drug addicted clown. So I mean, I'm not putting too much stock in what she thinks, but it still fits my collection. I still stand by what I said, way back when. I wouldn't really have it in my collection unsigned as a mock figure, and it was always one of my favorites. And it's as good as it gets. It's not like having Andre the Giant signed by Trick Williams, which we could, in theory, let me have it in my collection. It has some semblance of sense. Not much, a little bit. And I'll live with it.
Those kind of things, and I will say, the longer you are on Marked Out, if you're a newbie or if you don't know, these things happen once in a while, and they're just funny. It's funny when like the real world intersects with our world, you know?
Yeah, it's always a good time when someone just pops in.
And it's never like, I mean, have we ever told the story of when the fake Razor Ramon popped up on the Marked Out board or no?
I don't think I even remember the story. Go on.
What's his name? Rick Bogner, Big Titan, who was fake Razor, right? So I had been lobbying, because all right, let's rewind 20 years. I was working on an NWO poster. I mean, all right, so what I used to do back then, for the real deep people who give a crap about the deep dives in my collection, what I used to do, I was obsessed with getting large prints done of random wrestling things. Like I actually started this thing where I would ask people to do high resolution scans of all of their old WWF programs, and then I would clean them up digitally and then get them printed in like 18 by 24, 24 by 36 as these full-size posters. What they did, I would get them signed one day. I started very few of these pieces. I started WrestleMania 1 or WrestleMania 5. Anyway, One of the things that I got done though was a gigantic NWO logo in 24 by 36. Because you gotta understand, today you can buy a professionally printed NWO poster in that size very easily. Back in 2007 or 2008, you couldn't. Such a thing was just not possible. So I ended up, going through like, I can't remember, CVS or whatever, and getting this big ass thing printed. And I went around and I got everyone who had ever been in the NWO to sign this poster print in white paint pen. Everyone from like, the obvious Hogan, Hall, Nash, X-Pac, Six Pack, whatever, the Giant, Ted DiBiase, all of these people. And but then I even got NWO Japan. So I got Muda and Chono and Tenzan and Kojima and all these people. Like I got Dennis Rodman, I got Bischoff, all these people. And I even got like Jeff Jarrett, the later version of the NWO, which was probably a mistake. But anyway, this poster was very largely complete. But I used to lobby the con promoters to get the rarer members of the NWO to do cons. I would be like, oh, book Scott Norton, book NWO Sting, Jeff Farmer. But I would these low end.
You asking for him?
Yes, it was. I used to ask. I wonder if Terrence. Remember, I used to always DM Terrence, and I used to always post book Jeff Farmer, book. So I used to tell Terrence book Big Titan, book Rick Bogner because he was fake.
I'm shocked Terrence didn't hit you with the vendor challenge. You should try to book him yourself.
Because he was so he was because he was in NWO Japan. He wasn't even in the US. And then randomly one day I saw a person join the board that was the name was like Rick Bogner Big Titan or something like that. I'm like, there's no way. But then I looked because we had administrative privileges on the board. I looked at the email and it was this Canadian email. I knew he was Canadian, and I reached out to the email and it was Rick Bogner. And so I was like, you got to do a con. You got to do Legends of the Ring. I gave Terrence his email address, and Terrence had told me they had reached out, but they couldn't work a deal out. And then the guy ended up dying pretty shortly after this, actually. But it was just weird. Like, why the hell would this guy join the board completely out of the blue, And he did. I mean, but that was, we had talked about Sonny had joined the board. Missy Hyatt had joined the board. A bunch of people.
Baby Doll on the board. Yeah. I used to get daily updates from Baby Doll because she somehow thought I could help her get paid from Greg Price. And whether I could or not, I don't think I could, because what the hell would Greg Price care what I have to say? Why would I exert energy getting her, assisting her? It made no sense. So that was one of the more random ones.
You had kind of a feud with Greg Price, right?
I did. I don't exactly remember why.
I don't remember
recently,
why either.
I think even. He came on recently about something. Maybe when we were going to war with Sorrentino or something, he popped in. It was a recent thing. I remember he was very mad.
Oh, I ripped him pretty recently for something.
Yeah, you were fighting with him recently. I think I was just sort of adjacently taking shots. I didn't really.
I think it was something politically adjacent, though. If I'm not mistaken.
But we don't allow politics. How the hell?
No, which is why I was just more commenting on his, limited adulthood and his thievery and his. He was weird because he was like, for the longest time he was seen as this like exemplar of a quality promoter, but then there was all the shady stuff with Ric Flair. Now I know Flair had screwed him, but I mean, and he had relied on high spots to dig him out of a huge mess, and that's pretty well documented online. That high spots ended up suing Ric Flair. You knew that, right?
Yeah,
and there was pretty high spots pretty much owned Ric Flair for a couple of years because of that lawsuit. Ric Flair really is not a good person. I don't even just mean because he's alcoholic. I mean, I think alcoholism is a disease, but Ric Flair's really not, he's not a good person. And I'm not saying like, oh, High Spots, the guy, Mike is like super righteous. I don't really know him, but from my dealings with High Spots, they've been nothing but excellent. But I mean, I'm not going to vouch for anyone's character who I don't really know. But they owned Ric Flair for a few years because Ric Flair was such a piece of garbage and tried to steal from them. But there was something with Greg Price and all that, and I remember ripping him, and then he blocked me. But I feel like we fought with Greg Price years ago too on the board because he was on the board. One of those relics of the past. One of these people who ran cons in a certain way.
I don't remember why. He definitely didn't like the free speech aspect of Marked Out, which a lot of the promoters didn't. But I mean, you had guys like Terrence that, kind of played along and jumped in the sandbox. Ken was our number one troll, self-admitted. Like, he's still proud of that fact. Like, Greg Price just didn't want any part of it, just hated it, and just came in guns blazing. And I'm sure I was an asshole to him, because that's how I was back then. I was pretty much like that to everybody. So yeah, I don't remember any more details than that. I think it just all toiled around the free speech, though.
I will always defend Terrence, always, because he was always consistent. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he really was
I
always
love Terrence.
consistent. I do too. I love when he goes crazy on people now about authenticity, and he's so funny. Because he's one of these people who has extraordinary institutional knowledge, right? You can't get the kind of knowledge that Terrence gained from working in this business for so many years. The knowledge doesn't exist anymore, but he's like, the way he presents it sometimes is so off-putting. It's just really funny.
And that is precisely why, when the disqualified group was a thought, that was the first message I sent. It needed to include Terrence. Like,
yes.
That was a non-negotiable thing.
So anyway, the point is, there's a long and storied history of these like celebrity adjacent people coming to Marked Out and making comments or running in on threads. And so it was nice to see, even now, the group is bigger by so much than it's ever been. We still have these very bizarre, like Matt Bourne's ex-wife. You're talking about so random, but funny. And I'd say in a different era of Marked Out, that would have spawned all kinds of jokes and memes, and probably she would have gotten a smiley on the board.
Yeah, she would have.
Oh man, I wish there was some kind of way to do custom emotes or smileys on Facebook or something like that. I guess doing memes, but I don't know. The way that when you guys used to do the memes in the past, they were so funny. I just think
a couple of those I did, though, back in the day. I would be canceled like a million ways from Sunday, like done.
There's a certain board member who you made a smiley of that I don't think was ever posted publicly, but you sent it to me, and I found it on my computer. It was a certain board member, like kind of riding a unicorn. I don't know if you remember that.
No.
I'll show it to you at a later date.
All I'm thinking about right now is that like mock like Craigslist ad that I made about someone that now, oh my God, I'm so glad that must have been purged. That was bad.
There were a few that were rough. I was going back to listen to episode 100 where I had mentioned that when we had that whole feud with the ccwfans.com website. I actually did a little bit of deep dive and looked at some. We have to plan to actually talk about that at length. I don't know if anyone cares about it, but I do think it's interesting, and I do think it involves a former producer for, as it turns out, it was NXT, which was obviously WWE. I got his name. And I really want to, before we run it though, I want to talk to some of the affected parties, specifically those who reported him to WWE, because I want to get their exact timeline of their story down before we run with it.
Do you think Ira still has a timeline of this?
You just blew it up. It was Ira. I didn't want to blow up.
I think we already said this, didn't we?
No, I didn't. I said a board member.
All right, it was all right. Serpico, Nobler, there.
But I hope to God Ira remembers it. I'll reach out to him later to get the exact timeline of that, and then we'll run with that as a little story, maybe in the next couple of weeks. I just think it's so interesting, and that happened like 15 years ago, so something like that. Just crazy time. Anyway, other board stuff that happened this week. The Little Rat gave an update because when he tends to have issues with private signings. That seems to be a thing with him. And he had an issue with a private signing related to Roger McDowell. And there was I think he finally got a refund from the guy because the guy lost his items. And then the guy randomly shot him an email out of the blue saying, "Oh, I found your items in a box under the seat of my wife's car, and I'll send them to you." And then just never did. And I like how like Zach is surprised by this sort of, when to me this kind of thing is just par for the course for these kinds of promoters. They're just I believe you said something like it shouldn't be a surprise because these people are just they don't, they're just disorganized people in every aspect of their life.
Yeah. And to be fair, if I'm remembering the full story correctly, and I think I am because I skimmed it all when the update was posted, this wasn't even like a little rat problem. Like some of the, some people wouldn't have the problems he has because they'd be less.
No, this is a widespread problem for this signing.
Yeah, this was lost. His item was completely lost. That had signatures on it already. So and I believe the refund was given without too much fighting. I think it kind of just came. It wasn't that much of a problem. And now, like you said, he reached out. And I mean, of course, it's baffling that you'd find this thing, reach out, say you're going to send it when you could have just kept it, chucked it, sold it, anything. And he did this, but that's what these people are. They're who God knows if they're substance abusers, if they're just mental incompetence, whatever. Probably some combination of all of the above. And I bet you Linder gets it at some point. The little rat will receive this when he least expects it, or maybe never. Maybe the guy, lost it in the backseat of his other wife's car. Who the hell knows?
So another one that came up on the board that's kind of funny. And this is all over Instagram, all over everywhere. The live action Moana movie, I guess, just came out or is coming out this week, and they had the premiere in New York City. So Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was out there, and he actually did sign and. Sorta. I mean, I saw him do a couple of signatures here and there at the premiere, and people were yucking it up about how nice he was, and that kind of spurred a whole conversation because he's been very difficult in recent years and kind of very not nice, for lack of a better word, in recent years. And so there were lots of people saying, it's just fake, it's just for the cameras. What were your thoughts when you saw it?
Definitely seemed the nicest he's been in a while. Maybe that's like a thing. He has to have some giant, like, long wig on in the movie he's promoting to be, slightly fan-friendly. Personally, I never really understand that whole it's just for the cameras. Like I get it, I do. But at the same time, I sort of feel like it's almost always fake. Like, I don't think any of these people really want to, like, oh, wow, I'm going to see a Broadway show and fans are chasing me. Like, I don't think anyone likes it. I don't think, I don't think Henry Winkler likes it. I don't think the nicest people in the world like it.
Henry Winkler might like it. He might be genuinely
happy.
He might be genuinely happy.
I'm of the belief the nicest people in the world, Matt Damon, is grinning and bearing it. If he could if he could actually just dictate his life, he wouldn't have that happen. I don't think anyone would. But so I never really get worked up about, oh, it's fake, it's this, it's that. It doesn't matter if it's real, fake, indifferent. If you get the op, you get the graph, it doesn't matter to me.
There's a fair amount of logic in that, I hate to say.
Yeah, but I mean, I get the feelings of people who have tried and failed in the past, and then you watch people like me, for conversation's sake, going on about how nice he is, and it's like, well, I've seen him be a complete ass like numerous times, and you get a little. You want people to kind of know the real Rock. If you even know the real Rock, which I'm sure we don't, you don't really get the full scope of a person from outside of a closed SUV window. But I guess we try as best we can.
So, anyone else out there who's notorious for being like very fake, where they do nothing or hostile, but then when the cameras are on, they act nice?
I wouldn't. The hostile part kind of throws off the name I'm going to put out there. But the name I'm going to put out there is Tom Cruise. You don't see, except for maybe some people in Europe and like old shots, but of the last like 10 years, 15 years, you don't see many photos with Tom Cruise that aren't at a premiere guardrail, like the big like fan pit type environments. He's awesome in those environments. He really is. But you don't see a ton of, here's Tom Cruise outside of a restaurant. But that also might be in part that he is such a megastar that he doesn't have. It's like Eminem. Like, he doesn't really have the ability to, like, sort of go to these places and just be.
Yeah, I mean, he really is one of those people. He's only out. It's almost like he's only out and about during the premieres.
Yeah, he's like one of those like cyborg like actors that they just sort of pull out of storage when it's time to make a movie and promote a movie, and then after that, you really don't see him again.
Anyone out there who you could think of as like just difficult or unwilling until the cameras are rolling? I mean, like for Scarlett Johansson comes to mind, right?
I mean, I guess she's nicer. I guess when cameras are on, I guess she's somewhat nicer.
I mean, when cameras are on, she's not cursing people out, which she does when the cameras are off, right?
That's fair. That's very fair. Yeah, Scarlett Johansson's a good one. She's like somewhat decent at Broadway. She'll actually like work the rails at Broadway. No, she's a good one. Yeah, I can't blank. I'm blanking on anyone else, but she's definitely a good one.
All right, so on to the reports. Honestly, C-Rat had a crazy week, huh?
He's all over this place. Yeah, he really did.
So the first thing, he went to the Dark Side of the Ring season 7 premiere. Do you watch Dark Side of the Ring?
I'm super behind, but I try to.
What does super behind look like? I mean, it's been a year since new episodes came out.
I try to watch them in order with my wife. She doesn't want to watch certain episodes, and then we hit a stalemate. But I don't want to jump around because then you never get back to what you're supposed to watch. So,
what do you mean? Now I'm interested. What does it mean she doesn't want to watch certain episodes?
If there's an episode about someone she's never heard of or just doesn't look interesting to her, she wants to skip it. I wasn't raised that way. You gotta watch it in order. You don't just go skipping around.
Well, yeah, you say no. This is what we're doing. Watch the. I mean, come in.
We end up watching something else. That's the compromise. She doesn't want to watch it. I don't want to skip it, and then we just watch something else.
And so how far behind are you then?
I don't even know. Probably season. I don't know. I'm not even sure.
Like for example, the new season 7. The first couple episodes are about Jeff Jarrett and TNA. Like, there's no way she's gonna want to watch that. So you're just never gonna watch them.
I guess I'll have to watch them by myself at some point.
So I barely want to watch these. But anyway, I'm going to be honest. I was intrigued when this show was initially announced, season 1. It's one of those things. I'm like, this is so niche. How is this going to last? And here we are, years later. It's still going.
Well, I mean, it shows how dysfunctional the wrestling world is, and with reality TV and all the other things people like, the dysfunction is really what sells. So they're in the right place.
That's true. So anyway, he went to the premiere of season 7 in New York City. The premiere was hosted by Jeff and Karen Jarrett, Chris Jericho, and one of the producers of the show. And it said it was really, really cool. I have no doubt that it's really cool. The whole Karen angle / Karen Jarrett thing is wild to me. The fact that she shows her face in public is extraordinary. That whole saga is extraordinary. But yeah, apparently it's covered on the show to some extent. I don't know how much. I haven't watched the new episodes, but
I was going to say that could be an episode all to itself.
Oh my God!
Whole, love triangle.
It was just insane behavior, is what it was. But yeah, C-Rat went there. Where else did he go? He was also at the UFC in Las Vegas. There was that big event with headlined by Conor McGregor, and he did that on location thing. They got to take pictures on the weigh-in stage. They met fighters like Charles Oliveira and Michael Chandler, Alex Pereira, Diego Lopez. They got to take a photo in the octagon. Just crazy stuff.
Yeah, that's
from C-Rat this week. Kind of a fun one. Zeb was in Orlando for NXT, or he was at the airport. Actually, was it clear? He wasn't there for NXT. He was there when an NXT arrival happened to happen, right?
I think his son had some sort of sporting tournament or something, and he was there for that. And I mean, that's the kind of child sports trips you like when it gives you the opportunity for combos while in town for that.
It can almost seem like having a child be worthwhile until you realize it's ultimately not. But anyway, he ran into Micah Lockwood from the Vanity Project, who her name is Bailey, I think. Bailey Humphrey, I think it is. Who's awesome. He said she was great. And he also ran into Obafemi, who's strange. This is a strange interaction. And also, he got some bizarre heat for this. I don't even know why. That he said he had a great conversation with Oba for a decent amount of time and then asked for a photo, and Oba said, no, I don't do them. When, I mean, there's ample photographic evidence to suggest that he, in fact, does do them.
I don't think he's done them in a while. I think, honestly, post call up, I don't think he's done them. I think he's either has a desire to create and cultivate this mystique, or he just doesn't want to be bothered. I'm not sure which one. But yeah, he caught a little bit of heat from the usual morons of how dare you bother him? He doesn't owe you anything. And like, sure. But it makes me want to like jump out of Obafemi's mother's bushes and just like ask her for a selfie to like annoy them. Because like, stop crying. Who cares? Like, this guy asked him for it.
You're not going to ask if he's right there?
These people know, because I'm not that kind of a fan, and he's gonna see me in the crowd when he's dancing down the aisle, and he's gonna say that right there. He didn't bother me 4 years ago in the airport, and he's gonna, I don't know. Oba will get so happy he'll have an erection because the guy was great, and I have no idea. It makes no sense. There's no logic to it. These people, it's just this thing now where in 2026, if you're in an airport with a wrestler. I mean, if we would have walked inside the airport with Jackson and taken a picture with him in the lobby, they would have crucified us, because how dare you ask him in the airport? That's all it is. It's just these buzzwords. They're like robots. Once the buzzword is hit, they come on like Power Rangers to defend the wrestler that couldn't care if they died.
Michael did a Weird Al meet and greet in Niagara Falls. I mean, I've seen pretty consistent reports that these Weird Al meet and greets are a lot of fun, and they're really good.
Honestly, it's like every year I feel like we get one, at least one, and they're always the same, and I mean that in the best possible way. It's not like a Dog Star thing where you're sweating and hoping it's going to be good, and they're not going to screw you in some way. Weird Al does not screw his fans. He takes care of them. You get what you pay for. And I mean, I think that's honestly the best compliment you can give to a performer that offers these experiences.
Yeah, and it comes with a great photo with Weird Al always being in character. The Little Rat posted his returns from the Shawn Michaels private signing with high spots that you did not do. Still kind of mind blown about that.
I did in a sense.
No, buying their aftermarket stuff is not doing the private signing.
It is when the item you bought you had on your shelf to send in eventually, and now you're selling.
No,
or I already did sell it.
I think you did sell it.
Yeah.
That is a weird end run around it, but anyway. But he said he submitted a Hasbro figure, his WrestleMania 25 ticket, and some postcard, and of course, not only did everything come back exactly as he wanted, but they returned all of his pens in a little baggie that was labeled, which he definitely got a huge kick out of that.
Honestly, I think Linder would do another just for the pen baggie.
Definitely. Very into the pen baggie. Linder also went to Fanboy Expo in Knoxville. He met a whole bunch of people. I mean, Glenn Jacobs, Henry Winkler, Linda Larkin, Jane Seymour, Adam Copeland and Beth Phoenix, Famke Janssen, and he apparently lost his Linda Hamilton item because he brings around all these trading cards. Whole trading card thing I'll never understand, but I believe that's what he lost. But he is waiting for a refund from Linda Hamilton, and he ran into Sharpie social attendee Robert Quinn at the con. And yeah, seemed to overall be a reasonable con. I mean, it's Fanboy Expo Knoxville has the same issues that a lot of these other cons have, which is people arriving late, people not being at their table. It's almost a weird thing to complain about now because almost every show has these same issues.
Yeah, it's just the nature of the game at this point. A couple takeaways from this. I enjoyed Linder sort of documenting the locals in Waffle House and the huge guy looked like he was about to die in the bathroom doorway. Like, that's always fun. Robert Quinn making the drive overnight from New York to Tennessee is honestly something we would do. So that I kind of popped for that. The other thing, it was funny. Bushwhacker Luke, he spotted out in public, and like he posted the photo. Bushwhacker Luke kind of looked normal in the Tennessee countryside.
I mean, he fit in with the local yokels.
He did. He looked pretty. He looked pretty presentable. And the one thing that Linder didn't do that was kind of the headline of Fanboy Expo Knoxville was Shia LaBeouf, who was running all around in New Orleans after he discovered that he has descendants down there and was running amok for months and then sort of vanished for a while. He was there, and he was supposed to be there. He showed up, and he was shirtless the entire time, which I'm pretty sure is the first shirtless con guest. And a lot of people, I think he probably sold some extra photo ops being shirtless.
I mean, he looked like a totally different person. The tattoos everywhere, all this, kind of wild.
Yeah. But I mean, another con and another favorable experience. This guy is a lunatic by all, by a lot of signs and metrics. But as far as fans go, he gives the fans a good experience. He treats them with respect. And I mean, you get drunk and fight some other drunks or paparazzi. I think that's kind of reasonable as long as you're nice to fans at a convention.
Fair. Jorge posted about the DJ Khaled meet and greet, where, I mean, Khaled went crazy, signing multiple things, photos with everybody, the whole shebang.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, he really, it's rare when, the celebrity posts their own. He posted videos of him signing outside of his hotel. I think he even blew the spot of the hotel. If you looked at that video, you could see what hotel it was, rather clearly. That was mid-trip. So he really didn't care. He was just taking care of people, which is pretty cool.
So Nostalgia Con was this weekend, actually. Are you going to head over there today or you're not?
No. The Snoop Dogg budget sort of swallowed up the Nostalgia Con budget.
So Nostalgia Con, I'm curious how well attended it was, to be honest. I don't think either of these reports that came in really detailed that too well. Maurice got his John Cena stuff done. His never seen in program inscribed on his program. Yeah, Saturday Night's Main Event ticket card. Marcus got his Saturday Night's Main Event ticket signed. He got the John Cena Ultimate done, and so it seems like we had Cena heavy. I'm curious. I'm curious how the other guests did. Was this the Cena show? Or did Noah Schnapp draw? I have no idea.
They were. If we believe their hype, Noah Schnapp was 90% sold out. I mean, some promoters will be 90% sold out from the day they announce, and then you show up day of, and there's nobody there. But I'm assuming Noah Schnapp did well because he should do well. He hasn't been around in a while. Stranger Things is still popular, and lesser names than him in that universe do well. So I'm going to assume Cena did well, all to a level that is his own, like he normally does. I think Noah Schnapp probably did well to a lesser degree, and the smaller ones, the Chad Michael Murrays of the world, I don't know. I'm very curious. I hope we get a couple more reports. I'm surprised Zach Chiara wasn't there. Maybe he's going today. I hope we get a couple more reports from people on the ground that give us a little bit of a crowd estimate.
Yeah, I really want to see. And then finally, there was a New Japan event, a G1 event. Chris Eastwood was there. He met a couple of the New Japan guys. I'm going to be honest, this new generation, I know, Takagi, and I know Sonata, but I don't really know them that well. I don't really know the new generation of New Japan guys that well.
Yeah, I only know Sonata. I guess Sonata's just going to rot over there. He's never going to cross over. He's getting kind of old.
The problem with these New Japan guys, or New Japan meet and greets, is they don't allow outside items. Do you know that? You have to get they're 8x10s only.
I know at ROH when I got the bunch of the ones that I got, that's what it was. They had their 8x10s, but I mean, I didn't have anything. So I guess I always assumed if I had something, it would be fine, but I guess not. They would just give you they were nice promo photos, but I guess that's how they still do it.
Oh yeah, they're very nice photos, but it's still, I mean, it limits the appeal for certain demographics to to do these meet and greets.
Oh, for
Because
sure. Yeah.
when I went to the meet and greet, the New Japan at the South Street Seaport that time, it was it was chaos. They allowed everything you wanted to do. I mean, all kinds of stuff. It was a free for all. They were not prepared for the likes of me. I was wheeling around a full suitcase full of stuff, which is
I don't know if anyone's prepared for the likes of you.
It's true. I was totally out of control. And then the best part, the talent were going crazy. They loved it. Who is this freak? You know, some of these talents, like, where did you get this stuff? You know, because most of the fans had none of that stuff. That was still one of the coolest things. That in-ring photo op that I have with Liger and Tiger Mask in the ring was insane. Fantastic. That's what I got. That's when MVP was with New Japan also. And anyway, you didn't go to that show, did you?
No. In general, the in-ring photo op, I get now that WWE is probably a little too big for that. They do the on-location stuff. If you even did $200, $300 to the general public, that would probably lessen the impact of on locations. I get why they don't do it, but I think on like an NXT level that they should do more. I think they did like in front of the ring, but like those TNA shows when you would go and like I got Angle, I got AJ, I got a ton of people in the ring. That's cool. Like that is a really cool thing. A lot of those shows, I honestly only bought the ticket to go and see who I'd get at the end of the night in the ring. That was why I bought a ticket. And for a lot of these events, you need to sell tickets. So if that's what gets lunatics like me to buy a ticket, offer it. I don't get why it's like a thing of the past.
Yeah, I think it's logistically annoying for them to deal with. That's a big part of it. It's just logistically annoying. It's probably not going to generate the sort of revenue that's worth dealing with the aggravation of it.
That's fair.
And that's probably what it is. Con news. Take it away.
All right. In news that I probably could have had 100 guesses and I wouldn't have guessed. Big Event New York and Eternal Con have partnered up. They are doing a 2-day event at Nassau Coliseum in December, and they're going to be co-promoting this event. What that means for Chill Out, I don't know. I haven't spoken to Tom in a little bit, so I'm not really sure what's going on. I'm going to just sort of read the room. We haven't heard about Chill Out. We haven't heard any details about Chill Out, and now they're promoting an event in December. So I'm going to assume this is the big event con for the back end of 2026, the Celebrity Con. I'm going to assume this is it.
I mean, that's a pretty big assumption, no?
I don't know. I mean, they got Big Event Wrestling in Brentwood in November. They got this in December. I mean, do we think a Chill Out is going to just... wouldn't you almost be... They'd almost be competing with this Eternal Con big event to have a Chill Out. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's almost like it's like my not so bold predictions. I feel like it's almost obvious at this point.
Perhaps. I don't know.
I mean, if anyone's going to run 3 shows in 3 months, it's Tom. Tom's a lunatic like that who will absolutely take on such a task. But I would think they're going to probably push all their energy right now into this. And what do you make of it? How do you think? Because Eternal Con has kind of been sputtering. I think sputtering is probably being a little generous. It's been sort of dead for the last handful of years. What do you think this is going to mean?
I don't know. The problem is, I think the problem is we've been given no information. And so this could mean any number of things. This could mean, look, let's be very transparent. I mean, we have a pretty great relationship with Big Event New York and with Tom. But I think both of us were just taken aback by how strange this announcement is, insofar as Eternal Con, let's just say, has not been setting the world on fire the past couple of years. In fact, the opposite. They've had to cancel shows. The last show we were at, the attendance was so bad that it was actually shocking. Eternal Con has had fantastic lineups. They have a fantastic venue in the past. It's just the last couple shows have been alarming, I would go so far as to say. And so is this a question of, Tom, because he has experience taking over the logistics of the show and like trying to drag it up by bringing a couple of high-end guests? Is it he's just running back end on the show and it's still going to be Eternal Con? It's not really clear what the exact relationship is, right?
Yeah, that was my takeaway. I don't want to be disparaging really to Eternal Con, but it kind of felt like, WWE is going to join forces with Kentucky Championship Wrestling. And it was like, what? Like, maybe it's a like relationship thing where, like, despite Eternal Con not doing so hot of late, maybe Tom knows the people in charge over there are capable and have good vision, and he, joining forces is going to do something to help both sides. I'm sure Tom has a plan, and it's going to, whatever he's working on, he's going to execute. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we're going to see Eternal Con on steroids, if we're going to see a chilled big event that he's just working on, and maybe there will be a chill out. I got to reach out to Tom at some point and get some answers.
And so, yeah, it's very unclear. And in that kind of announcement, there was nothing with that announcement offering any clarity. And Tom sometimes makes these announcements and then just like nothing ever happens after that too. That's happened a few times,
Yeah, that's sadly the nature of this. At times, I think we're going to see a lot by how what the first announcements look like. Is it going to be like Boy George, Brooke Shields, type stuff, or is it going to be
a Chips reunion,
Big Trouble in Little China, like the what they were working on before? I would hope it's going to be a combination. I would think they're going to do the smaller stuff for the bottom end, and they'll have some genuine. I don't think Big Event New York is putting their logo on the Nassau Coliseum to not have, there's going to be some genuine headliners. I have to imagine.
I hope. Let's go. I mean, doing it in December is at least we don't have to travel.
I mean, listen, I'll get there through a freaking blizzard if I have to, because it's close enough. For you, it's even better. This is great for you. You shoot right up Meadowbrook and you're there. For me, it's like, 55 minutes, but I mean, there's no tolls. I don't have to hit the city traffic. I'll take it every day of the week.
Are we not kayfabing exactly where I live? I mean, Jesus Christ.
I mean, unless you live under a bridge on the Meadowbrook Parkway, I think you're fine. There's lots of places.
This next announcement was really funny. And because it was I think only works for Monster Mania. They have such a unique fan base. So Monster Mania Con announced that there will be 2 weddings, I think. It was 2 weddings, right? Or at least one wedding. A wedding hosted at their event. And like I think people were supposed to like celebrate this or react positively to this. What is your reaction when you see that real people will be having their wedding at Monster Mania Con?
It's a little strange. I don't typically judge weddings, but I don't get it. I don't really, as someone who likes these events, I like them more than you do. That's for sure. You're miserable going at leaving. You hate every second of it for the most part. I enjoy the act of being there more than you do, but I mean, I wouldn't, even if it had some significance, I don't think that's where, like, you're going to have your family members coming to this thing. Like, if it was like a party type of, like, if you spend the weekend at these shows and you were having like some secondary, like, wink, wink wedding for all the Monster Mania people that you're friends with, and you were just going to party, and it was like a wedding in the, most unofficial way, and you were just partying and hanging out with people, I could get behind that, I guess. But like, if this is where like your grandma's coming to Monster Mania to see you get married, I don't really know what you're thinking.
Do you think Dave will act as the officiant?
If not Dave, then that cosplayer Dr. Evil that walks around should be him. But I don't know. It's strange. It's definitely strange. Is there any convention you could think of that you would want to have some sort of a significant life like event at?
Well, I think for some of these people, this is a very significant part of their identity, right? These cons and stuff. Like I mean, look, we go to a lot of cons, but I'm able to function outside of the con world, I think, pretty reasonably well. You would know that if you only see me at cons, but I think that's pretty true. This is actually a very tiny slice of my everyday existence. I think for a lot of these people, the people with the kind of person who has, the Halloween house tattooed across their back, let's just say, right, or something of that nature. This is a very significant, meaningful part of their life. And so a lot of the people they know are orbiting the con scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I guess, more power to them. I hope it doesn't cause any sort of if it's at this con, that's even better because we're not going. Is it the Baltimore one? Which con is it happening at?
I really didn't pay attention to.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, we're missing Cherry Hill. We're not doing Maryland, and I mean Oaks is to be determined because they haven't even announced the date. I don't think, but they definitely haven't announced people. So it doesn't impact us. If it makes them happy, it makes me happy, I guess.
Sure. You notice this? There is a sort of a tour of sorts, a meet and greet tour for Friday, featuring Ice Cube and Mike Epps. It's the price is not horrible, honestly, which I know a lot of people are going to say it is, but for that kind of event, it's not. You know, the only issue right now is that there's only 2 shows been announced. One in California, and where's the other one?
Washington State.
So you're talking about all the other on the other side of the country. So I don't know if any of our listeners are going to be out there doing this. But I guess the larger question to ask is, will these premium meet and greet type of things replace con appearances? Do they go hand in hand with con appearances? Or does someone like Ice Cube, who has tried running these meet and greets before and has had them canceled due to low attendance, does he eventually get roped into a premium con appearance instead and start phasing into that direction?
Good question. All good questions. I'm on the site right now, and I want to just be completely clear because I think I wasn't in the original post. Looking at this now, there's one date, which is wild, but I don't even understand how this is possible. He must have announced this elsewhere that I didn't see until he posted it recently. The one date that is Ice Cube and Mike Epps present, it's July 17th in Long Beach, California. That is this Friday. Everything else is just Ice Cube shows on the West Coast. There are no VIP options. This is the only one. So as of now, there's one show in Long Beach that I'm really hoping he didn't announce 3 days ago. I must have missed the standard. Like if you follow these concerts and stuff, I guess you would have seen it. Or if you were out west, you probably would have seen it. I'm looking right now at the seats. I mean, there's a lot of open seats. A lot. So if this is any sort of an indicator, I mean, every section's got 100 plus tickets, 70, 72. Like, there's a lot. If this is a sort of a stick your toe in the water and see how it goes, I don't know if they'll be happy with this. There's more blue in this crowd than a Snoop Dogg concert. So I don't know. I hope it makes its way out here. I would go. I will without question. My only thing was if Cube is 671 and then the duo is 915, you're talking like 250, 260 on over 2 on Epps. And I was thinking I mean, if he was a chiller for $200 something, I don't know if I would do it. But at a thing like this, like, I paid like 4 or something for Martin or 5. Like, is he half of Martin? Probably. I think that would be fair. Like at an arena, like he's gonna be if they come out here, they're gonna do Barclays. They're not doing Patchogue. They're not doing anything like that. They're gonna do Barclays.
You think Paramount?
I don't know. I know Cube is always a Barclays guy. When I had that $1,000,
I don't know if but that's too big of a building for him. I think he could fill the Paramount. I don't think he can fill Barclays. That's the issue. Barclays is canceled.
Here's the problem. Looking, I don't. Where he's at right now, the F&M Bank Amphitheater doesn't look like the Paramount to me. How
many tickets do they have in there?
I'm looking right now for capacity. The capacity of this building is 11,000.
That's too high for something like this.
I agree. Lyrics, lounging, and laughing. You need to run Paramounts. You need to run. I'm saying Barclays because that seems to be what they're envisioning this to be. If you took all the sold seats I'm looking at in this building and put it in a smaller venue, it's probably a sellout. That's what they should be doing. But
I mean, Barclays Center can hold 20,000 people. When the Paramount's closer to 2,000. Cube, with much love, is not drawing 20,000 people.
I think Cube canceled the Barclays show. I think for the exact same reason. He's not understanding that this is not death certificate era. Rap and like he's not selling out arenas. Jay-Z sold out Yankee Stadium 3 nights in a row. Cube isn't selling out Barclays one night. Like, he's not. And I love Cube. I really do. But, like, I agree with you. What he's doing in Long Beach, if that's what he's trying to replicate, it's not going to work. He needs a smaller building. And I guess, stay tuned if he does that. If he's going to sell a third of the seats at these big buildings, he ain't doing any more. So,
yeah, I this is not really con news; it's sort of industry news. But the Rack Facebook group, I think it's not too controversial to say the biggest and most, well, to me, the most prestigious and the most trusted, in my opinion, autograph trading, collecting, selling Facebook group out there, has gone. They've been private for a really long time. They've gone public as of 2 days ago, I think. I think this is a huge decision. What do you think?
I like it on the grounds that the people that kind of voice their displeasure with us sometimes because they think our group should be private, and I'm all for like voice it. I don't mind. I don't get mad about it. But I think it shows this group's got 37,000 people. And the guy running it, Justin, I'm not giving any free publicity here, but he's building something and he's working on something. And I don't really know what the hell it is, honestly. It's confusing me. But exposure is necessary for growth. You go private. It's a good thing in theory, but it's also, I mean, this guy's got 37,000. He's got 30,000 more than we're working with right now, and they're going public. It kind of makes me feel a little bit better about our decision. And I've told you, and I've said it on here, like, I don't have a number where I'm like, oh, now we go private, like 10, 15, 20, 35, whatever. Until it would become a problem that we can't manage. I mean, let it grow.
Well, what's interesting is there was some issue on Rack the other day where there were people complaining because political posts weren't being. Rack is more tightly moderated than we are, even, and they have a strict no politics, no culture war, none that cultural commentary. It's not allowed. It's strict, and those posts get deleted instantly or as quickly as possible. And there were some complaints that posts weren't being deleted as quickly enough, and the response from admin was we if you report them and we see them, we delete them. It's just we're not there 24/7 to be able to do that. So I mean, it seems like they're going to be creating a lot more work for their moderation team. No,
in theory, but I also think you got to look at what they're dealing with. They are a company selling the ability to sell. And personally, if I'm which we are. If you're looking to sell in Rack, I mean, I think I'd rather sell in a public Rack than a private Rack. It's more eyeballs. If you're trying to monetize the access, I mean, that of course, if the public nature of it makes it go to hell in a handbasket, that could blow up in their faces. So it's a matter of how do they handle the increase of being public.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a much steeper curve. Learning curve than they anticipate. We you and I fall on different sides of this. I'm currently comfortable with us being public, but there are days when I wish we weren't. When I'm deleting dozens of posts in a day with absolutely and keep in mind, we have post moderation on. Nothing gets posted to marked out unless it's pre-screened. But just the comments alone, you go, oh God! Once the freaks start coming in, you can't get rid of them, and then it's just endless idiotic comments. And there are certain topics that people cannot help themselves. And once one idiot can't help themselves, then it becomes just an avalanche of idiots who can't help themselves. And that's it's frustrating. I find it very frustrating.
That's completely true. But as I said, with what they're launching and building, I'm going to be completely frank. I imagine with the promotion and the publicity he had been doing in the private group, he probably wasn't fully satisfied with the hits and the numbers that the site and the things that they're launching were getting. And I think that's always the fear. I mean, if you're private, you're not really getting like my Snoop Dogg. I'm not trying to flex over yours, but my Snoop Dogg report got like 30,000. Like if you're, even if you have 30,000 people in the group, the way the algorithm works, you can get all of them. Like that's a thing of the past. And like, it's powerful when you're selling and promoting and building that you have that ability to have something catch. And all of a sudden, the episode, the product, the whatever is going to get this huge like spike.
No, that's totally fair. I just know the insanity that we have to deal with. And if now they're talking about increasing that by a factor of 5,
that's
you
fair.
know,
I agree. Hopefully, the AI modification tools will keep getting better. Although they're not great right now. That
they're
you could have it
horrible.
that it could flag different there's definitely words and tones. And I mean, if the AI programs now can have conversations with you about anything, it should be able to sort of recognize hostility in comments and do something to flag or put them in limbo or do something. I would hope where by the time we're 35,000 deep, the tools are going to be in a position that they can help us more than they're helping Rack. But we'll see.
I guess. And then finally, the last bit of con news is that Chiller Theater is moving to a new location, the Castle. It's called. They've been there before.
Yeah, this was the Sheraton. This is where they were before. Like, this is where, like, that first show when we got, like, Katie Seagal, and, that's where she was. She was down in that pit. The funny thing is, I'm a very nostalgic person with a lot of things. Like, in general, I'm always happy for a good homecoming. The problem is, I think with my Chiller history, I've definitely spent more time in the Hilton than I have the Sheraton. So, like, I'm kind of nostalgic for, like, the Cobalt Room and all the medals and all this stuff. Like, that's where, all the stuff with Olivia and the stabbing and all these different, like, memories that we have from Chiller. Like, that's all. Now we're at a different spot. Like, I have, like, one memory of you and I not being able to find whoever. I guess it was Katie Seagal that we couldn't find for a while.
Yeah.
And we found her.
Oh, you found her. I never did.
That's true. You left. Yeah. So I don't have great memories or any memories of the castle now that it's called whatever the hell it's called. It has a different name on it, but yeah, I don't know. Greg is thrilled. Greg 2600. A lot of people are. I'm not sure why. I don't know. Like parking. What's parking like? Like with the Hilton, you had those adjoining lots where you could bring the entire borough with you, and it's gonna everyone's gonna fit. What's it like here? I don't know. So I don't really. I think location wise, it's no closer for us. It might even be further. It's not helping us. So whatever. It looks cooler from the outside. That's about all I can say.
Yeah, I have no. It's so funny because you were asking me yesterday. How did you have any certain feelings about the venue? I'm like, no. Am I supposed to?
I thought you would because you were like an old school. You did more of them than I did. I did that one, and then I hit like my New Jersey embargo, and then I honestly don't think I ever went back to the castle until it was not the castle.
No, but why would I care about the building it's in?
There's no building that you like even Cherry Hill. Like, you've spent so many weekends there. If they announced tomorrow they were moving 5 miles over to a different building, you wouldn't feel any sort of like, oh man, end of an era.
Who cares? It's totally irrelevant. It's a purely practical consideration.
Well, I mean, to take out sentimentality, it could be a practical issue. You could have remembered, I hated the Sheraton because.
If I'm not mistaken, the actual internal guts of this the space are smaller. They used to have tents outside with some of the guests. Because I got Jeremy Bullock outside at the tents, and there were a couple of guests that got outside. They used to have like these tents outside because they couldn't fit all the guests in the building, which I kind of liked. I didn't have strong feelings either way. The one thing I didn't like about the pit was that you had to wait in line to get into the pit, which was challenging because if you let's say you wanted a lower tier guest who was in the pit, that person may not have had a line, and you, in theory, should be able to walk up to their table, but you couldn't because you need to wait in line to get into the pit. So that was a little bit of a logistical concern, but I feel like towards the end of their run there, they had solved that.
Yeah,
but I don't remember now at this point.
I don't know, and I wonder. Now you got me thinking. I wonder if this, like the last couple of Chillers, let's be real, attendance hasn't been great. It's definitely been down from where it was 5-6 years ago. So it kind of makes you wonder if maybe I don't know the logistics of the buildings, but is this a smaller, cheaper option? Are they is it are they tightening their belt a little bit, and the fans are just excited because it's like a throwback, and we're not looking at the like the why? Like, I'm not sure.
One of the things from our interview with Terrence was that he said these hotels their whole mentality has changed. The hotels used to love the cons and would do everything to keep them because it was guaranteed to sell out their rooms. Now the hotels are constantly squeezing the cons for more money. So it's probably a situation where the new hotel was squeezing for more money, not really providing additional service, and so they had to move. It wouldn't surprise me if it was that. Very
fair.
All right, so let's run through the quick guest announcements for the upcoming cons. So Monster Mania, they added Brooke Thies from Nightmare on Elm Street 4, and Brooke Bundy from Nightmare on Elm Street 3 and 4. Whatever, it's fine. Fan Expo Chicago, Jared Padalecki is now doing photos with the Chevy Impala baby. You said you were tempted by this.
Well, I think the stuff that's coming in later as far as announcements is probably taken any desire to blow $250 on frivolousness away. It's cool. I kind of pop. I like the National Lampoon Griswold car shot I got. I like some of these shots with the props, even if they aren't real props, just replica props. I like that sometimes. So I'm intrigued, but I think my budget has been spent elsewhere.
What else we got? Rhode Island Comic Con. They added Kathleen Turner, presumably, not presumably, to pair with Michael Douglas, Romancing the Stone. They also added Jake Connolly from Stranger Things. I'm not gonna lie, I think this con is in serious trouble.
I think I need Kathleen Turner. I can't remember. I don't think
you don't even know if you got her. She was a chiller not that long ago.
I don't think I was at that chiller. I don't remember. I have to check. I know what you're saying. I know she was with that agent that we've done business with before, so it wouldn't have surprised me. I would have waltzed over and gotten her. I just don't think I don't know if I did. I don't think I was at that show. I think that was one of those shows that we kind of planned on going and then we didn't. So I think I need her. But I mean, if I have to think I need her and don't know if I got her, that's probably an indicator I don't really need her. But right. I mean, I'm not that evolved. So
what about to my larger point that this show's in trouble? Are you there yet or no?
I still think we're underselling, and more you than me. I think Jamie Alexander and Josh Duhamel's ability to draw is. I think they can be players at this show. I think Jamie especially can do really well. I don't think it's quite as bad as we're acting. I also think to some level people walk into this show with money to blow, and they're going to look at the list and sort of allocate their funds where it can go. Don't underestimate the idea that for a lot of the people up there, I think it's really Rhode Island and Fan Expo Boston, and I don't think they do anything else.
Dude, but come on. I mean, when you think of what this show had, there was the show, it was Carrie Ann Moss and all these people, these big names, these big genre names. Anthony Starr, JoJo Siwa, for crying out loud. Like these big stars. This doesn't have anything like that.
Well, they also have Jake Connolly from Stranger Things, which I don't think
he's not going to draw though.
I mean, the only needle he's moving would be on a scale. He ain't moving any sort of a real, like the people don't care. I don't think about him in and of himself. He's not part of much of it. They don't have any real Stranger Things contingent. What I do think is interesting, I think Romancing the Stone and these movies with Turner and Douglas have some level of fandom. But if you were going to work up something that you were going to do with Michael Douglas to really mean something, it would have been Michael and Charlie for Wall Street. Maybe even Michael and Paul for Ant-Man, because you get the Marvel people.
I think Fan Expo snatched them all up.
I'm saying, so I think Rhode Island's hitting a couple of walls here. Like
they need to get Daryl Hannah.
Yeah,
that's what they need to do. They need to get Daryl Hannah.
You have Josh.
She's available. That's what they should do.
You have Josh Duhamel. They need Shia. Like Josh Duhamel on his own is not that sizzly. You get Shia up there. You have the Transformer ops. I mean, you're getting warmer. They keep they get things started. It's like when you try to start like a fire in a fireplace, and the wood never quite catches. And it might be what you're saying, that you now have Fan Expo. Fan Expo might be Debo at this point on the block. Like it's rolling down the street on the bicycle. And I mean, you got to run. That's what it's looking like. And when Rhode Island was really cooking, there wasn't really a fan expo, or at least not a fan expo that was to this magnitude. So it might be that like all their plans and everything they're trying to do is not working. And when it's not working, what do? Maybe Daryl Hannah doesn't want to do it. Charlie can't do it or doesn't want to do it. And here you go. You got Kathleen Turner. I don't know.
I'm not even dogging Kathleen Turner as a guest. I think she's a solid B chiller guest, right? Solid. She'll do business the whole weekend. But she's not a needle mover. Come on.
No.
She's not. She's a rock solid guest, not a needle mover. And
maybe
Rhode Island, every year we always joke how they'll book 10, 11, 12 needle movers all at the same time. And it's like, oh my God, Rhode Island's always been a can't miss show. Answer this question. If Michael Douglas was not booked for Rhode Island, would you give it a second glance this year with the current lineup?
I'm a lunatic, so yes, I think I would.
Based on what?
Well, I need Patina Miller, who I think I'm going to get down here, hopefully. So that would be neutralized. But I'm opening it up right now.
I'm alarmed at how bad the lineup is.
Don Bluth. Don Bluth is on death's door just because of his age. Got to get Don Bluth.
I mean, if that's what you're hanging your hat on, I mean, he's done other things too. Didn't you pass on him?
No. He canceled the one show we were at that he was supposed to be at. He was supposed to be in Pittsburgh. He canceled. Zach got him out in some other like Appalachian type city. And that's it. I haven't seen him. Don Bluth is big. I guess maybe we're underselling Michael Weatherly. NCIS. I mean, he was a major player in that show.
Out of your mind.
It's not good. Titus Welliver, I like. He's good.
What is he
not
from?
Good? From Sons of Anarchy, Bosch. He has some new show now that's got some hype with like the cartels or something.
I mean, okay, they do have the Avatar cast. I mean, Zach Tyler Eisen's a big draw. Big draw. He's Aang from Avatar. He'll do great. I think he'll be shocking actually how good he does. I'm looking at this other, trying to think who else. I think Mimi Rogers will do all right actually. She's a cool one.
I really don't think I think my point is a real one where CT Horror books like, Kane Hodder's and they have 2-3 hour lines. New England, these people are not traveling.
You've been to Rhode Island before. The lines were not that long the last time we were even there. They're just not.
Listen, Rhode Island and NYCC are both a little slow out the gates. And you have Fan Expo just demolishing everything. And I think there may be a correlation there. I'm not sure, but that is the changed variable this year.
It's a very, very, very weak lineup. There's no other way to say it. It's scary weak, actually. Now, granted, it's early. We're only this is a November show.
We got 4 months.
The beginning of July.
4 months. I have hope.
I mean, they very rarely disappoint. It's just every time they do announcements, and I go, "What is happening?"
Well, this week they just announced right now. I just saw it. It's Crime Stoppers Week.
What does that even mean?
They're announcing guests that stop crime.
I don't know. It's just a lot of their announcements are very silly. Like when they did the Star Wars week, and these people were like nominally Star Wars, and
Here's what I want. Then we're gonna move on. It's not fresh. I have almost all of them, but I want it. I want a SHIELD reunion. I want Chiklas. I want Goggins. I want the big blonde guy whose name was Lemansky on the show. I forget what his actual name is. I want Ronnie. I want the whole Strike Force team from the SHIELD. I want the group up. That is, granted, I'm not sure how much crime they stopped. They were the crime. They were the
if you're gonna do a Crime Stoppers reunion, then let's book some Law and Order guests: Carrie Lowell, Jill Hennessy,
how about Chris
Angie
Noth?
Harmon, Jesse L. Martin. No,
I think Chris Noth has a good book he wants to read that weekend. So coming to the con, I'll give him some time.
You had to get that joke out, but you didn't listen to the names I actually said who would all draw.
Jesse L. Martin would do great. I agree. It would have been better
Jesse L. Martin would do great
with the Flash people, but sure.
Jill Hennessy would do great. Angie Harmon would do great. Carrie Ann Lowell would do great. They have other properties under their belt that would do really well. They're all local. They're all available. I don't know why those women have not done. They've done a handful each. Then just nothing like near us. And they're all no brainers for something like this. I don't know why it hasn't happened. So I am like honestly half tempted to reach out to like Carrie Ann Lowell or something on Instagram and be like, yo, let's try to work something out for a local con. I just don't understand why she's local. She lives local. She's, there's no reason why she do 20 grand in a weekend at a con. Well, the issue is
it. Yeah.
Anyway, Extravacon, honestly, very, very, very cool. They're doing a Hey Arnold reunion, but they're getting names that no one else has got for a real legitimate Hey Arnold reunion. I'm really impressed. That's one of those things. We were having this whole argument because you were like ripping on me last week when I was complaining about New York Comic Con not being innovative, and you're saying who cares about innovation, and then here you are tickled pink by the innovation of the Hey Arnold. I believe the Hey Arnold reunion would do insane at New York Comic Con. They would do insane business. So why isn't it booked?
I don't know. I don't have a good answer. I like innovation when it does something for me. I'm a hypocrite. This is really cool. I will be there. It's in my calendar already. I think it is. And one of the voices is also in Land Before Time, which I believe I bought a Laserdisc for Don Bluth, which is maybe a blessing since I have nothing to spend up there. So I think I may be getting 2 from Don, bare-boned, no sketches or anything. So, another Land Before Time name is always appreciated. It's a really cool reunion, though. Extravacon is doing a great job.
Honestly, I'm super impressed. There's no other way to say it. It's just, I'm actually kind of blown away by it. It's a clever idea. It's a novel idea. I think it's going to do great. I think, though, at a big con, I think out of Rhode Island or in New York, they would do crazy. I had this whole vision. You do a Hey Arnold, you get a company to do kind of either an exclusive comic book or an exclusive doll of some kind of whatever, some kind of exclusive print, and you'd make a killing with these names. Because that's the age group, people in their 30s.
I don't think Extravacon is going to be able to bring enough people in for it to be a killing, but I think it'll do great by a small standard. And I think, like you said, if it was at a bigger show with the volume turned all the way up, I think it could really be a big thing. Yep,
I agree. It's puzzling why it hasn't been done. You got very scared. I love when you get scared by con announcements. It's very funny. So Fan Expo Boston posted this thing. Well, first they had a bunch of high profile cancellations, which I don't think we put in here actually. No. They canceled. Who'd they cancel? It was big names.
I'll look it up.
But anyway, right after the cancellation, they posted this thing like a big con, world changing name is coming. And you were all scared because now we were locked out. We really can't do Boston, and so you're getting all panicky because if this is someone we really need or someone really good, you started throwing out all these. You started already panicking with all these names that you were certain it was going to be. You were certain it was going to be Liv Tyler. I don't know where that even came from, but you were convinced that it was Liv Tyler. Stop me if I'm wrong at all.
You're not at all.
And then they announced
the only cancellation was David Wenham from Lord of the Rings. Which
there was one more. There was 2.
Oh, it's not on the website yet.
There was a woman also canceled. But David Wenham is a big cancellation. He was touted as a featured guest. He doesn't do cons. As a rare name from Lord of the Rings. But anyway, and they announced a fantastic, phenomenal, extraordinary guest. Just thankfully not one that we need, and that's Chris Evans. So. Honestly, that's a fantastic ad. It's a fantastic ad for Boston. It's in a way, it's fantastic for us because now I can like exhale, right?
Yeah, I mean they're not putting anything else on the board. I mean, how big would this damn board be? It is an insane lineup. You're talking about, and let me just say, I am at this point all in for Fan Expo just as a brand. Chris Evans, Mel Gibson, Orlando Bloom, Carl Urban, Elijah Wood, Shatner, who always draws. You got the full Lord of the Rings reunion. You have the Danny Glover on his dementia tour. You got all these things. It's insane. There is not a company out there. Yes, they sort of retread a lot of these reunions and drag them around the country, which I'm not mad at because aside from us, how many people are hitting multiple cities like this? It's smart. This is the show to beat. Fan Expo, when they hype something, I was thinking Liv Tyler. Chris Evans is, ions bigger than that. I didn't think Chris Evans level. Like, they over sort of deliver sometimes on the hype. Not many shows do that. This is the show, and I really think genuinely that the other shows that are a little slow out the gate, this is part of it. They didn't have this kind of competition before.
So speaking about Fan Expo Dallas has kind of announced something crazy. They've announced a full Lost reunion, which had you lose your mind.
Yeah.
Josh Holloway, Henry Ian Cusick, Terry O'Quinn, Jorge Garcia, Emily DeRaven. Crazy, never been done before.
Yeah, it's not full. I want to be clear.
It's pretty damn close.
Yeah. Obviously Matthew Fox would have made it full. Evangeline Lilly is a big omission because she does a lot of these. She really does. So it's like, geez, like you could have had her. But these are huge names. I need two of them as far as fresh. I have Terry, Henry, and Josh. I need Jorge and Emily. I've been chewing on it, but
you've been asking for Emily for a while though.
Yeah,
if I remember,
she was lost in that. She was lost in that creation bubble. She was in that creation bubble for a minute. I think I'm doing the group up. It's around $500. I think I can talk about the price since the people you aren't getting it, so you're not going to be embarrassed. I have no embarrassment, so I will spend $500 to meet two people I've never met before and three I have. It's enough of the key people that it's going to be cool. And for a show I really care about like Lost, it's worth it. And I think I'm also going to start my print. I have to at least, if I don't have that much time, I have to at least get through Terry and Jorge's lines. I don't know how they're going to draw. I'm really curious. Lost is not as hot as it was. It just isn't. That end, I think it kind of has a Game of Thrones effect where the end was so like not liked that it kind of just poisoned people's entire like memory of the show. But I'm pumped.
So yeah, it kind of makes Dallas really that much more appealing than it even was.
Yeah. I'm actually wondering if Dallas is the city we really needed 2 days in. But
but you were very against that.
I know.
That wasn't me, it was you.
Yeah. But at that point there wasn't a Lost reunion. But I think we'll be fine.
Scaradise down in Florida added John Bernthal. I mean, he's around everywhere.
John Bernthal, look at that. He gets right off the Broadway stage, taking his final bow today. And I mean, you got to give him some credit. That dude was racking heavy for months. And here he is making con announcements already. And there's not many guys that are charging for graphs and slinging them for free at the same time. And I mean, his graph sucks anywhere you get it. So the free one was basically as good as the paid one. You really got to respect it.
And New York Comic Con has started some low-level wrestling ads. They added Mick Foley. They added Mina Shirakawa from AEW. And Konosuke Takeshita also from AEW. I don't like Takeshita getting booked, only because he really has only done one small signing before this. So our Takeshita stuff has moved quite nicely on the secondary market. So
no, it waters us down a little bit.
I don't love it.
Yeah.
I mean, I need to move that Takeshita figure that I have ASAP. Honestly,
I have my personal one on eBay right now because I don't think I don't know if I talked about this on the air, but I've been purging a lot of my AEW figures. The market, I sold all my Danhausen stuff when he was like on fire with the Knicks. I don't think AEW, like maybe in 10 years it's going to be popular in a weird way again. I don't know. But like, I really, there's very few. There's a couple I genuinely like that I think I might hold on to, like 3 or 4, and that's it. So that ain't one of them. So I'm trying to move all my AEW stuff from the PC.
Yeah, I mean, to me that makes sense. Honestly, I get it. I mean, the Takeshita figure we have is kind of awesome.
It is.
Just aesthetically, it's a great looking piece. But I think the market's going to get watered down. Although I think that figure is not the cheapest one anymore.
No,
as well.
That one's not bad. But like, yeah, I mean, on a personal level, I think I'm going to keep Osprey and Swerve because I'm fans of them, and I got them done for a good price with the privates, and it's
annoying. To me, this booking is annoying. He's not going to set the world on fire at NYCC, but the people who know how to water down the market are going to water down the market. So it aggravates me.
I don't know if PWT is really throwing bulks around. So I don't know how watered down it'll get.
Those people who want to get the bulks will get the bulks from him. They'll find a way. Come on, what are we talking about? I think so anyway.
Well, listen, they can get their trash signed. Ours will still be better.
Wicked Ink Wednesday. We had a great week. Vin posted his childhood photo with Mookie Wilson signed with an inscription. That was pretty cool. Andrew had his 18 by 24 Eminem poster from the Glasgow show in 2017, and I thought this was really cool. The Ron had his early 90s vintage Milty Burl. That's crazy. How many Uncle Milties do you see around?
Not too many. It's pretty damn cool. All three. I
believe
were awesome.
He used to do Hollywood show? Am I crazy? In the 80s?
Shoot.
I feel like I read that somewhere.
I'll say yes because it doesn't surprise me, but I mean, you could tell me.
Could be wrong. I feel like I read it somewhere, but
Harry from Harry and the Hendersons did the Hollywood show in the 80s. I'd probably say yes. I have no idea. Wouldn't shock me.
Photo with Friday. Honestly, did you see Photo with Friday this week? We had a crazy number of posts.
I picked a good week to drop LD. It was a hot week.
I posted my shot with Jamie Lee Curtis from the book signing, and I had like 8 or 9 likes on it. It's like way higher than average. We had over 60 people posted things this week, so that's a very high number.
Yeah, and listen, picking 3 was tough, but I had to do Matt Bulk with Kyle Fletcher, his newly won AEW International Championship, which I only knew he won because of Matt Bulk's post. But Matt designed part of the championship belt. And for people that don't know, Matt designed the Smoking Skull belt. I believe he did the ECW TV title belt. Matt, correct me if I'm wrong on the show graphic. We got to get you your accurate flowers because you are, the belt guru as far. I don't know anyone else that designed any of the other things. I don't know who did the Winged Eagle, for example. But that's sick that you created these, pieces of wrestling history and you're still going. So great shot.
Pretty sure the Winged Eagle was Reggie Parks.
Reggie Parks. All right. Sorry, Bulk. I think Reggie Parks got you beat by a little bit. But I think after Parks, it's Bulk. That's the
Reggie
order.
Is the belt sort of, I don't even know what, the original sort of belt person.
All right. Super meta. No one would get it because it's meta on 2 levels. But have you ever seen that T-shirt with like the top MCs? And it's like it's the Eminem lyric where it goes, it's Reggie, Jay-Z, like he goes down the list of the thing.
Uh-huh.
We could do a belt creators one where it says Reggie, Bulk, and whoever the other ones are. But
Joe Marshall's not a bunch of belts.
2 people in the world would understand that shirt because you have to be a hip hop fan and a belt fan, I guess. But
although that style of shirt you see everywhere now.
I'm saying.
Yeah. What else we got?
You pronounce this name.
You gotta kayfabe something. Come on. Anglum, he posted his shot with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson that we talked about earlier in the show at the Moana New York City event. Yeah, I mean, I actually was just scrolling through Instagram and watching The Rock interact with people now, it comes across as so staged and fake that it's actually frustrating. Remembering how cool and genuine he was with us. You know what I mean?
Going back to our topic from before, there is a difference, but I mean, I feel like there really should be a difference. That was Rock making the Tooth Fairy when we saw him, literally, and this is Rock who legit went on like an Arnold level run. I don't think it's not going to stand the test of time because he doesn't have the Terminators and the True Lies and all the shit that like Arnold did that was really good.
But I mean, good movies.
Yeah, I'm saying as far as box office, like he had Hollywood in a chokehold for 10 years like he was the guy for a while. So like, I guess he should have gotten a little whatever, but yeah, it's not the same.
Because how cool he was with us twice.
Yep.
And this arguably the second time even cooler.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then of course because Linder posted his shot with Henry Winkler and he was wearing the officially licensed Little Rat T-shirt from Marked Out Radio.
Listen, if someone posts a photo op with like of Stalin,
Mason, what's his name? The
Mason Reese, yes. If you're
Mason
wearing a
Reese.
marked out shirt with Mason Reese, you will get picked. Like, you wear a marked out shirt, I don't care what you're doing. If you pushed your grandmother down the stairs and you pose with her crumpled body in a marked out shirt, you're picked. I will pick every time. So keep buying the shirts.
So if you're shopping for autographs, check out www.markedoutcollectibles.com or our eBay store at Marked Out Collectibles. To contact us for any reason, email markedoutcollectibles@gmail.com or join and participate in the Marked Out autograph collecting community on Facebook. All links are in the show notes on Facebook and Substack. And if you want your event, product, or brand advertised on episodes of Marked Out Radio, reach out to us today at markedoutcollectibles@gmail.com. Get your Little Rat t-shirt or any other Marked Out Radio merch on our ProWrestlingTees.com shop. See the link below or check out the pinned post on Facebook. If you like what you're hearing, subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts and leave a rating and or review. So now on to the main topic. I mean, I referenced it at the top of the show, but this week we ventured out to try to get Lin Manuel Miranda, and he was the only person on our radar at this particular event. Now, I guess before we even went out there, what was your expectation for getting Lin Manuel?
I'll be honest. I've seen videos. I saw him at the Moana premiere, which was the same trip. He always seemed very nice, very approachable, very accessible. Maybe fast moving at times, but it seemed like he tried his best to sort of be giving as much as possible. And I don't know, what were you expecting?
I was expecting Lin to be easy. I mean, he's known for being nice. He stops everywhere he goes. There's so many videos of him stopping. You've never seen Lin be a jerk. So I was very, very, well, as it turned out, very overconfident going into this. You know,
I had two items.
Yeah, I had an item. This event was supposed to be, you know, a whole kind of affair with multiple opportunities for him to stop. And we were really confident going in. And so the long and the short of it is we get to the spot and we're waiting for about, say, 45 minutes or so when the witching hour happens. And, you know, we were there. It was us and 3 other graphers. So it was not a big crowd at all. Lin did stop. He hit selfies for all. And then he signed maybe 2. And then just, I said, I'm done. I have to go. And so when he did that, because neither of us got a graph. We got the selfies. Neither of us got the graph. What was your thought?
I thought he just wanted to get inside and start doing what he had to do because the nature of the event, he had some obligations and responsibilities, and I understand that. I thought when we would see him after,
we had two more main opportunities to get him, and we were situated perfectly for both opportunities.
I thought he would eventually stop. But what I think the issue is, and I was up late last night looking on eBay as I do every night. I often fall asleep scrolling eBay on my iPad. My wife just like puts my iPad away then before I like break it, as I would like toss and turn. I do this every night. But last night my wormhole on eBay was Lin Manuel, and his like 11x17s and vinyls, like they're all priced between $200 and $300 if they're even like half decent. And granted, they're not sold yet, so that might be a little lofty of an expectation. But his stuff isn't as cheap as I thought. Like, he's not a $50 graph or an $80 graph. Like, his stuff is like, you know, going up. So he might just be he may have felt like he hit the pictures, he took care of the fans, and beyond that, you're profiting off of him. And he's a tough signer, maybe. I don't know. He was signing pretty freely at the premiere. Cameras on, as we go back to our earlier topic. Cameras on, you had to look better. So anyway, we had 2 more opportunities with him. Let's look at our second opportunity. We were sitting on a bench. We had some comfort for a while. Then we had a gaggle of people. They were eating ice cream. They were just, you know, just acting annoying, just living their life, being, you know, not looking for autographs and just not realizing they were affecting our view of where he was coming out of. So we had to like stand up and get around the crowd, and we see him come. And did it seem like, you know, did it seem like Broadway Lin, or did it seem like White House candidate Lin? How he was sort of walked with the staff.
I mean, they circled him so tight. You would think I don't even know. It was really strange, given the context, given the location. And he was like, no, 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 no. He was like, it was literally by that point the other graphers had gone. It was just the two of us. Just the two of us.
You didn't hear him say this, but he said, I heard him clearly. He's like, I did it on the way in. So at this point, I mean, we had one more shot, and my parking meter was going. I actually at this point I could have left. We could have left and not paid more parking, but I figured for an extra $5, let's roll the dice. And we sort of migrated over to like the actual like location that the actual thing was taking place. And we did not see him again until the end, which we'll get to in a moment. But we're waiting there, and I mean, the graphers are all, always levels of anxiety, and you have all graphers have their own sort of baseline of anxiety in these situations, and the different people's anxiety, I think it kind of like impacts other people's, different ways. So it was clear another SUV was coming. They were sort of clearing space on the street for the parking, and one of the guards was waiting like for the car's arrival. So the car pulls up, out jumps a woman. At the instant, like no one is quite sure who it was. What did I initially say?
In which context?
With the woman. The SUV pulls up with the woman. The woman gets out the car.
Oh, so you're like, that kind of looks like Jennifer Garner. And I'm looking, I'm like, no, it doesn't. And no, it doesn't at all. Now, she was, what was she, 50 feet away, 75 feet away?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, it doesn't. And I even pull up Jennifer Garner on my phone and I'm looking, I'm like, no, it doesn't. Which clearly indicates that my eyesight is shot. Because lo and behold, it was Jennifer Garner. And when I got up close to her on the way out, it was very clearly Jennifer Garner. But
the annoying thing is, she got out the car. I'm looking at her. She smiles at me. She goes and stands on the sidewalk for at least 30 seconds waiting for her guard.
It was really more like 2 full minutes. It was a long time.
I could have walked over there and like challenged her to an arm wrestling match. Like that's how long she was there. Like, and I'm like, all right. The other grapher standing next to her, like basically looking at her from like 3 inches away, and he didn't know it either. So like, I was annoyed because I'm like, I should have followed my instinct. But I don't ever want to be the guy that runs up to the person. I mean, if you think I was crippled with Jennifer Garner, you should see me with the black celebrities, because you don't want to be that white person that thinks, oh, are you Samuel L. Jackson? And like, you're not. And you just think, like that whole, racist things. Like I am terrified to do that with a black celebrity. A white celebrity, I'll sort of be open to the possibility. But I listened to you. You looked it up. The pictures we had, I'm like, yeah, maybe I'm wrong. So in she went. We waited. And then the unthinkable happened. Lin Manuel's driver/security guard was nice.
I think he should be fired, honestly.
Yeah. Honestly,
so it's a funny
whole thing.
Yeah. So this woman and her, like, she had like 15 teenage girls with her. I don't know what they were doing out there. And then someone's like, she sees, Lin Manuel Miranda, his face is on TV screens outside the building. There's a whole banner of his face. Is Lin Manuel Miranda in there? And I'm like trying to avoid her question or not answering. She's like, is he still in there? Is he still in there? And I was like, it's been over for a long time. It's been over and I'm trying to get them to leave. And of course, I was doing that stonewalling grapher thing. And she goes over to the security guard and she's like, is Lin Manuel Miranda in there? And the guy looks at her and says, yeah, he's giving a speech in there. I'm like, you stupid ass. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I don't. That's when you have to be the heavy. You have to, lie or threaten to call the police, and you can't trespass here. You got to make up all the crap that Class 316 gets in a fight with them on a weekly basis about. You have to make one of the teenage girls cry. You can't, yes. And then all of a sudden, all right, the mom and her 13 kids are going to, it was like the facts of life. If they were like rich and entitled, it was, the whole thing was ridiculous. So of course they stay there then. And they're like fangirling, even the 45-year-old mother they're all like fangirling. And of course, other people come up. Then we had the group of either old high school or young college boys that come around, and then they find out from the girls that he's in there. And a couple of them wanted to stay, but luckily the one after like 5 minutes was like, "Let's get out of here," and they listened. So they left. But with the group of girls there, it became a thing. So then all these people enjoying the summer night are walking by, and then they're joining. We had old couples. We had other younger people. And by the end of this whole thing, it was probably, 30 people, 35 people on both sides, like just waiting.
Yeah, it was. The crowd grew to an alarming size. And here's my thinking, though: the bigger as crazy as this thought is, the bigger the crowd is, it's going to be hard for him to mad dash out the side because he'll look like a jerk in front of all these now close to 100 onlookers. So he's got to at least stop a little.
I told you the young girls would help us on Lin because he would feel like, oh, this is just fans. These aren't graphers. I'm going to stop for them. And then when he was stopped, that we would have a better chance of getting a pen into his hand.
Well, how was our prediction?
Well, in the 11th hour of the third witching hour, I made the decision to sort of skip from where we were waiting by Lin's SUV to Garner's SUV, figuring, let me try my hand with her. And little did I know that where I went is actually where Lin was. So Lin, first Garner came out, and Lin used Garner. No one
as a meat shield.
Yes, he used her as a meat shield. No one will convince me that was accidental or coincidental. He stood in there, I'm sure, until she went out. She started dealing with the crowd a little bit. I wouldn't say she was racking. Of the people that were trying for her, I'd say maybe a quarter of us got her. And he, head down, flanked by guards, right into the SUV. Boom. Door
head
closes.
Down, about as like, I would say unwelcoming a posture as possible. I tried breaking him down by the SUV. He didn't even look like he's as if I wasn't even there.
I was shocked you were trying for the roll down. I was proud of you.
I've never done that before. But I was pissed. We were out there all day. I mean, at the end of the day, we got the selfies. But I mean, he should have been a sure thing for the graphs. It shouldn't have been like that, man. It's very strange.
Yeah, so I got my Garner up, and then we actually tried to catch him at the SUV at the stop sign because it had to swing around like a little like circle, loop-de-loop. And I mean, I'm not going to say we chased the car because we didn't. Because I mean, and I'm not saying that because I'd be ashamed of chasing the car. Because I mean, I'm frankly ashamed of a lot of this, and I do it with pride, if that makes sense. But we stood there, and I had two items. The one item I had was the Mufasa soundtrack. So as he drove by, I kind of like held it up like I guess like Simba. I held the Mufasa vinyl up in the air for him to like see it, figuring maybe if he didn't see a Hamilton item, he would realize like, this idiot's not making any money from a Mufasa vinyl. And he didn't even see what I was holding. I could have been literally holding a naked picture of his mother. Like, he didn't even look up. You could see him through the tint. He was like looking at his lap or his phone or whatever. He wasn't given any eye contact. He wasn't given any which I guess is smart. If you don't want people chasing you for like blocks, I guess you gotta cut them off at the knees. And what I did, which it was less theatrical than it seemed, but I took my Hamilton vinyl and I broke it over my knee as I was walking back to the car.
It was pretty theatrical. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. But I get to return it to Amazon now, and that's what I'll say. It was broken. So I mean, if anyone listening from it, what
you could have done it without breaking it. Amazon doesn't care.
It was fun. I snapped it. It felt symbolic. I feel like Lin Manuel Miranda when he was hungry and writing things from the perspective of the losers like us on the street. I think he would have appreciated that energy. But
so overall, it's hard to not call it a success. But it's also a pretty catastrophic failure in the sense that, there are some people you think are going to be a walk in the park easy. And it just shows you there are no guarantees in this hobby. That you could be, we were 2-on-1. At the end, I was 1-on-1. I was the only grapher who was in his line of sight at the end. Didn't make a lick of difference.
He really could have rolled down.
It was easy.
And again, before someone, well, he doesn't owe you anything. I know he doesn't owe us anything, but still, I mean, come on. At the end of the day, you have Jennifer Garner's out there. a surprise attendee she owed people nothing, if you want to really get technical. And she's out there, answering dumb questions about what dress she's wearing, taking, a handful of selfies at least. Like, to run by. I mean, if you want to say you took care of us already, that's fine. But you would think, as much as they were annoying, you have this group of like 15-year-old girls that are like screaming and like freaking out about you walking out. You would think you would at least let them take some stupid group selfie or something. You could do like one quick selfie as you're running by. You could do something. A wave would have been nice. I agree. A smile, something. Like, I don't even know if he knew there were girls there. He legit was head down. He was much more giving at the Moana premiere. And the funny thing is, having seen that, I'm like, oh, we're in for it's going to be great. If he was this giving here, he's going to be like, that's why I felt good about the 2 items. I don't bring 2 items that often. I did for John David Washington, couple more, but like usually I'm one, because I mean, with the selfie, it's much easier to get an autograph and a selfie if you go for the autograph first, then go for the selfie. But
look, the only time I brought 2 items out was Jonathan Groff, who I knew would hit them, so that was no issue, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, Jonathan Groff was probably the easiest anyone has ever been. I really, you know what it was? I thought, as maybe foolishly, that Lin would be as easy as Jonathan Groff, and he was not.
I guess we didn't give him credit for the floors he has gone up in the fame and significance building. Like, this dude's getting up there now. He's not quite on the sky deck, but I mean, he's getting close. Much like The Rock, it ain't the same. It's not the same experience you would have had 5 years ago. So
yeah, I mean, the lesson here is that, like, I mean, Steve is always saying this. You can never take anything for granted. You can never be sure. You just gotta. Every time is different. You gotta keep it and try again. And try and make it happen.
Was it worth it? Would you do it again, knowing what you know?
Probably yes. But it was a long outing. It was a lot of travel for that. If I'm being candid, it was a lot of travel. It was a nice day though. That was the thing. It wasn't too hot. It wasn't like it was a nice day for it.
I don't count. Granted, you had more travel than me, but I don't count that travel as travel to me. I could do that half asleep. Sometimes I have.
I sometimes fully asleep.
Yeah, I'm saying that's like relaxing travel to me. And as we discussed yesterday, and I'll be dropping a reel with this. I find that fun. Like, if I was a drug addict, like that moment when you're sitting out there, you're waiting, you're in a good position, like, that's a rush I enjoy.
That's torture for me.
And we were comparing the feelings, and you don't like it. So
no,
that's a key difference. Some people like wine, some people like heroin. I mean, I guess some people have their poisons. For me, it's sitting on a bench on a sidewalk waiting for someone to look at me with this disgust in their eyes as they're flanked by 4 security guards.
It was such an inappropriate amount of security for the space and context.
Well, he didn't want to be rushed by the old hedge fund people that were shuffling by with the cans.
That's true. It was really. I mean, you got to be careful what you say because you might be giving away the spot. So
true. There's rich people all around New York, though. And then one more funny thing, which will be in the reel. You thought you spotted the biggest convention guest of all time, Brooke Shields.
I did. I'm still not convinced it wasn't her. It probably really looked like her.
It probably really was. Like her. Yeah.
It was someone in their car driving down to in a different location. It really looked like her. And I was validated because the other grapher at that location was like, he pointed at who is that? I'm like, that's Brooke Shields. Like, I know it is. And he went running. Yeah. So they ended up losing the car, but I wasn't the only one who thought that. Keep that in mind. Don't crucify me here. And it wasn't like I had Brooke Shields on the brain. Okay. Let's do listener questions.
Let's go.
So this question now coming from Scotland, now that we know where he lives, from Jack Proctor. Do you ever see the podcast getting to a level where you could do a live taping? Granted, the UK tour may be a ways off, but given you're privy to metrics that we're not, are you far off on putting the feelers out for a live show somewhere convenient for the bulk of your audience? Are you taking this or am I taking this?
I'll take it. I'm still, which I guess is my attitude from the beginning. I'm still in the idea that if we were going to do a live taping, that we should probably schedule it somewhere into in like a mental institution, so the people that would care to go to it,
just for convenient assembly purposes.
They can just sort of scoop them all up and like put them inside. I mean, who the hell's coming to see us like sit and do this? But I mean, I'm blown away by the support. I never would have thought we'd be where we are numbers wise when we started this. I would have thought 10 years we wouldn't get to these numbers, and they keep going up and up and up. So I mean, who the hell knows? But I mean, right now, that's still my attitude. I can't even fathom such a thing.
Yeah, I think it's a situation where I would assess based on let's be fully candid. I think metric wise, we're not there yet.
No.
We're just not, even just looking in terms of geographically, and I would say we're still the bulk. The bulk is the highest percentage of people are in the Northeast U.S., but it's spread out enough that I don't think any one location would be the best type of scenario. The best opportunity would be something like a Mania weekend, right? To do something like that. I also. It's not the worst thing to think about possibly doing like a Mania weekend. If I could get a venue that would do it for free, I'm not gonna like charge people for something like that. I don't know. I would feel weird about that. But a venue that would do it for free, I would give it a run for that kind of I would say a Mania weekend would probably be our best shot to do something like that. I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Here's what I think it would have to be. And as much as you like to say that the major pod people are nobodies, like Myers and them, like that's always your critique. They're definitely, they're valid in a real way. That's a big element of these live shows. Like, no one's buying a ticket to see us. No one wants to meet us. Like, if I ever sell a meet and greet of myself, I mean, please just strike me with your car if you see me like.
I have to counter you here. I listen to other podcasts that are not hosted by famous people, and they have meetups, and they have
no meetups are fine.
No, I'm sorry. Let me finish. They have live tapings that people buy tickets to and attend. Not, I wouldn't say huge numbers, but they'll sell 200 or 300 tickets. I mean, and they're not famous people.
Are they doing meet and greets, like photo ops and autographs? Like, no,
they're doing live taping, and then they hang out, and anyone who wants one gets one as part of the live taping.
I mean, I guess that's fine. I mean, like, I don't think ever anyone's gonna want my autograph. Like,
no,
why would you? I'm a collector like you that sits here and talks, and you have to edit me sometimes. I say things I shouldn't say. Like, that not warrant photo ops and autographs. I think a meetup type of thing, if the logistics would make sense, where it would almost be like a hang recording, the audience is part of the show. I even hate saying the word audience, but like everyone there is like, everyone's sort of collaborating on the show. It'd be like some improv show thing where you just talk about collecting in the world and whatever. Something like that, and then you hang out, and if someone's nuts enough to want a selfie with me, well, awesome. But like, it would have to be very different. Like, it's not going to be like the Bruce Pritchard podcast where he's selling meet and greet packages like that. Please, no one want that. That would be insane and weird.
Yeah. So I mean, I think we're not quite there yet numbers wise.
No,
and I think we are growing, and I think maybe in a year or two, that's something that would all of a sudden start to make sense. But I think a few things would have to happen numbers wise. We'd have to turn a particular corner for that to make sense. I would love over this summer to get the video off the ground. I think that'll be a test of where the numbers can go. Because right now YouTube we're at the mercy of the YouTube algorithm, and lately the algorithm has not been kind YouTube wise at all. And so then it's been like,
I think YouTube without video is this. You might as well not even do it. Almost like I think I'm
not doing it. It's being put out there. I'm not actively doing it. It's being uploaded.
No, I know. I'm just saying, without video, we're not going to ever hit any sort of stride on YouTube. And I think if the video lets us sort of, even if YouTube got to the level of the other platforms with video, I mean, that would be a huge bump. Like, that would be a big bump. So. I think that's a reasonable goal. I think that's a reasonable goal.
Yeah. Michael asked, if there's a celebrity or athlete you've already gotten a photo with, but you have another opportunity to meet them, do you go for it? He's taken a lot of heat for meeting the same people multiple times.
Well, listen, you shouldn't take heat. Here's the reality. If it's free, if it's a situation where I do a deal with someone and I'm not paying for it, I'll take $1 million. And sometimes I was going to mention this later in the what's coming up for us thing, but for people keeping track at home, this week is Fanatics Fest. And recently a certain Chicago resident, Mr. Phil Brooks, won the world title. And Ira and I would love to blame this on Ira, but I'm the one that made the first reach out to him with this idea. And I said to him, do you think Punk is going to bring the title to Fanatics Fest? And we did a little bit of research. And I think the last one he did, he did one this year as champion, and he brought the title. Now, as you pointed out, Punk's a little bit of a wild card. But Ira and I made the decision to split the op, which is around it's like $240 or so, $230 with fees, before split. It's a gamble. And one could say, even if he brings the belt, it's a waste of money since I have a bunch of photos. But I would like a photo with Punk with the world title. So I'm paying big bucks for it. We'll see.
I generally don't. There's like very, very, I would say, uncommon. Liger. I'll always do Liger. I've done. It's been a running joke on this show. I've done the Starship Troopers reunion a bunch of times. That was only because it was different cast members.
You got $1 million with the guys we were. Actually, not all of them. Like you got Jackson and them every time. But like when we did Mathers again, you didn't. I don't think you got another one, did you?
No, I didn't. Did you? No, Zeta, I didn't.
Just the boys, basically. You basically got every time.
Yeah. But that was I don't even know why. Trying to think of what else, any other people. I think sometimes like I'm trying to think of instance. Hogan, I got a few. I got them 15 years apart, basically. So, Punk. Well, I got Punk. I got him at Ringside Fest. That seated horrible picture that time, and then I got him at the Fanatics Upgrade when he was in the suit 2 years ago.
Which I hope he doesn't wear that same damn suit. He does that a lot. He wears that same day. I really hope that Larry, before he died, just like ripped and shit on that suit.
I'm worried for you on this one.
I know. No belt, same suit. No belt, same suit. I just get bigger bags under his eyes for $240.
And then last question from John Peck: is there an aftermarket for signed selfies?
Well, there is if you're Bob Pivaroff, because I've bought several of his signed photo ops.
You got him at a very steep discount, right?
Yeah. I forget what I paid, but it was a photo op signed by Owen and a photo op signed by Perfect. And like they were signed on the wrestlers. Like in theory, I could like go to one of those nice paper slicers and like slice Bob out. Or you could just
you have him matted out with a frame, right?
Yeah. So for that, if I would have paid even more if Bob signed it, but Bob was unwilling to sign it. So in that regard, yes. But on average, like if you go to if I go to back to me signing autographs, if I go to the Dallas Fan Expo, get my pro op by the Lost Cast signed by them and me, I don't think the value would ever come close to what I put into it, because who the hell would want a signed photo with me in it? So, typically no, but I guess
what I would say is
exceptions.
The exception is if it's a very, very rare signer or someone who is dead, there's always a market. That's the truth. It's in a way, it's like personalized things. Personalized, I think, they retain value better than signed selfies. But I think that if someone is dead or if someone is a very, very, very rare signer, people are willing. There's gonna be a hit to the value, but there'll be some kind of value there. But the aftermarket is, I think, pretty limited, because there are people who would not want a signed selfie in their collection at all. I would not want that at all. And so I wouldn't, even for someone I was a huge fan of, I don't think I'd pay for it. So I don't think I'm unusual in a lot of ways. I don't think I'm too unusual in this regard. I think there are a lot of people who fall into that same category like me. And so I just don't. That's going to when you decrease the demand for something that much, it's going to limit the value there.
Yeah, but I mean, also just keep in mind. I think there's always that belief. I like, are people forging signed photo ops and selfies? Like, I guess in theory, but I mean, I don't think I've ever seen one. So I mean, it gives you a little bit more authenticity, I guess. If you want to just informal things that can make you feel a little safer. Like I trusted Bob to begin with, but I mean, Bob's not forging a photo of himself on a 4x6. So it's like,
Right.
buy with confidence.
All right. So what's coming up for us? So you have Fanatics Fest this weekend. I do not.
Yeah. Listen, 4 days. I'm hoping I barely count Thursday. I'm gonna be in at 5:30. Basically, I'm gonna go in. I'll be back on that damn train. Not long. It won't be quick enough that I could get one ticket to still be active and ride on the same ticket. That's like my dream. That's like Hulk Hogan wrestling 370 days a year because of time zone shifts. Like if you could be on the same ticket back and forth, that would be amazing. But it won't be that quick. But Thursday, I feel barely counts. I'm there all 4 days. I hope I have some time to do some of the basketball like activities and competitions. I always enjoy that. You give me a chance to shoot. You give me an audience. You give me, even though that no one's really watching, there's all sort of like glazed over waiting for their turn. But it's fun. You got the PA system. You got the guy and commentating. It's always a fun little rush you get out there. So I hope I have time to do that. But I have so many photo ops, I might not. And Sunday would be the day I could try to run around in the morning and hit some of those like activities. But my stuff starts at like 10 a.m. So like I think I'm gonna have to go right to the ops. So I'm very busy.
And then we got once again the Chicago Fan Expo is happening with the Sharpie Social being officially announced at what the hell is the name of the place? Portillo's. So you want to check out? It's not
like Portillo's, right? It's Portillo's. It's not like I'm not like pronouncing like a tortilla here. This is how it is.
I don't think it's pronounced, but I could be wrong. But to be fair, I didn't really look it up.
It's Friday, August 14th at 8 p.m. The Portillo's in Harwood Heights. We got people coming that we've never met. If you are out there, if you live out there, if you are traveling like us because you're deranged and you're really deranged and you want to come and you want to eat, hot dogs and sausages and Italian beef, whatever the hell that is, with us. This is your opportunity. This is when you hang out with us, and you could shout at Sean about his bashing of sports fans.
Sure, you could try to convince me that I'm wrong. That I'm wrong.
Maybe you could convince Sean to go out to Wrigley Field, and he could set fire to something, and he'll be inspired. But come out and see us, hang out with us, and hopefully it's not a bad part of Chicago. We don't get shot.
The best part about this was that you were thrilled that there's no splitting of checks at this place.
I mean, that's sort of, you forgot even the best part. The little rat will be there. The little rat's who picked Portillo's. And that's how he sold me. He's like, listen, there's no split checks. And I'm like, Zach, if we're going to eat a picnic at a cemetery, like I'm in. Like, you got me with no split checks. So marked out listeners, buy whatever you want. It's on you. I mean, I don't have to worry now. It's going to be great.
If someone wants to buy me a hot dog as like a gift, I will accept it, I guess.
It's rude to shit out someone's gifts. You got to be careful with that.
I don't know what the hell that means.
I mean, you can't disagree.
I guess. You got Dallas Fan Expo coming up in September. It's a long ways away. We have once again the Keanu Reeves Simple Plan saga. That'll be in August. It's August, right? Yeah. I have about a month before I have to start really worrying about that. So I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait until the day before I even start worrying about it, because that's the way it goes. And then of course you have your Chance the Rapper meet and greet. Is that it? I feel like there's something else that's gotten added in that you just haven't put. Because I see all this stuff popping up on the schedule on the calendar. Rather,
I have AJ Ewing at Coaches Collectibles that you'll probably want to bleep out because I just said the name. I don't know why you keep. We should be pimping for ads from these people, not giving them for free. I got AJ Ewing.
Who was AJ Ewing?
Patrick Ewing's white son that plays baseball. Just kidding. He's one of the Mets' new prospects that are up, and he's honestly one of the only people worth watching this season. That's really bad. He's one of the building blocks, I hope. So
what's the charge for him?
169, I think, combo.
169 for How old is his first? He's a rookie.
He's 21. Yeah, rookie year.
That's wild. 169. Damn. You getting the combo?
Yep. I have to send my print out. I designed a 11 by 14 metallic like I normally do. I gotta make that order from today, so I don't have to sweat it.
Did you seriously give away our vendor for that too?
Oh, you gotta bleep it.
I don't want to bleep anything. Wait, this I have to actually pay attention. 209. And this I have to bleep.
Now you just gave away the time. They're gonna see how many pauses we had.
And I don't care. I don't care about kayfabing that. I care about the freaking. Are you out of your mind? I can no. That's one thing I actually care about kayfabing. The other stuff.
You gotta understand. Half the time I'm recording, I forget I'm recording. To me, I'm just having a conversation. I'm not thinking about this.
I'm like panicked that you're gonna say something that's gonna last forever.
I'll read my social out. I mean, if the mood strikes me.
Oh my god. So that hopefully I gotta bleep that. That has to be bleeped. That we're not telling people our vendor. It's like an orange Posca situation.
Probably, I think I'm going orange Molotov. I think I'm actually going to buy my own guy. As you know, their markers are good, but I can't ever be that guy that I'm trusting the table marker. But the damn Molotov is $15 for one pen, like on Amazon.
Outrage! It's an outrage.
I really should go to Blick, but I'm not going to be out there unless I go before the signing. That would be a ballsy move. I go penless, go to Blick on my way to the signing.
You run the risk if they don't have the color.
I know.
Or you could bring the Posca as a backup, I guess. But
yeah,
you don't want to do Posca. You want to do Molotov.
It's been better. I mean, if I do Posca, I need a new Posca because this thing was leaking like crazy, and I can't trust these. You know, this was Keith Hernandez. He signed enough autographs. He ain't gonna press it too hard. Right. AJ Ewing, he don't know what he's doing.
No, that rhymed.
Yeah. There you go.
I think you got to go through the calendar and see. There's definitely other things because as I click the date, I see other things that you put in there, and like they're not showing up on this document. So anyway, that's not that urgent. So once again, if you're shopping for autographs, check out www.markedoutcollectibles.com or our eBay store at Marked Out Collectibles. To contact us for any reason, email markedoutcollectibles@gmail.com or join the Marked Out Autograph Collecting Community on Facebook. Right now, we still do not have any signings to announce. Nothing. We do have a merch drop, right? We just got a bunch of prints back from a private signing with AJ Styles. What's the price on those?
The price on those on eBay on Facebook.
Did you forget?
No, I was trying to let the pause hide the fact that I forgot, and I was going to look it up and then speak, and the pause would have gone away. You messed it up. I don't remember what the hell we said we're putting them on eBay for, but they're $45 on Facebook. That's always the best way if you are a listener of the show.
It's $45 on Facebook. It's 2 for what on Facebook?
2 for $85, I guess.
All right, so we'll do this. 2 for $85 on Facebook. What do you want to give for the podcast discount? If you DM and say you heard on the podcast, we'll do 2 for what?
How about all 4 for $10?
What?
All 4 for $10. What do you think?
No.
All right. I tried, listeners. I tried. I don't know. 2 for.
Well, we're 2 for $85. You want to do 2 for $75 if they mention for the podcast?
Let's do it. Code word Portillo.
So don't just DM on Facebook. We'll do 2 for $75. 11 by 14 prints. These are Beckett witnessed. So this is not even.
Well, hold on. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they're witnessed. They are Beckett. Let me look.
They should be.
I think it says Beckett authenticated. I don't think they were. They were not Becketted at the time of the signing. I think it was after the fact.
My bad. They're Beckett. They're Beckett stickered. Okay.
Yeah.
They're Beckett stickered. Private AJ Styles prints. We're pricing them out 2 for $85 on Facebook. We're $55 each on eBay. If you DM over Facebook, we'll do 2 for $75.
And Sean will deliver them to your porch, no matter where you live in the country.
Nah, we'll see about that. If you're within 15 minutes of me, we'll do that. Otherwise, we do have AJ Styles. We have 4 unique designs. Those designs are designed by Dana. They're available nowhere else. That is true. Nowhere else. Only we have them, and they all Beckett authenticated. AJ Styles, the phenomenal one. I think we should put that. I'm gonna put that in the show notes as well. Are those on the website? The website? No. Yeah. Oh, because I would put them on the website and then put the link on the show notes. You know.
No, so I don't even know if AJ Styles was alive when I last updated that website. We really got to just finish the inventory and just do it. But
all right,
we will get it done before the leaves drop off the trees in the fall. We will have everything, all systems go.
All right, we good?
We're good.
Awesome. So for markedout.com, Marked Out Collectibles, and Marked Out Radio, I'm Sean.
I'm Dana.
And we will see you at Fanatics. Well, Dana will not.